I'm gonna record like your intro and your.
No, I love it, baby. I love it. We'll do it all. Broadcasting live from the historic WHBC studios in beautiful downtown Canton, Ohio. It is Mixed Mornings with Matt Fantone, and I'm very excited right now to welcome a gentleman back to Canton, Ohio. It wasn't long ago at the Oracle. He and Brent Smith performed live. We've got Zach Myers from Shinedown in the studio. Zach, how are you today, brother?
Good. It's good to be back. I was telling Lou, we were driving down the road kind of all the while. I was like, I remember being here, and I remember it was 2023. It was June 13th.
Stop! This man's pulling the date out on it.
Yeah, man, I got a weird thing with date. I can remember lots of things weird.
And especially considering the life you've lived, the places you've been, the things you've done, that's got to be absolutely awesome to be able to look back and kind of have those memories.
Yeah. It's good and bad sometimes. Yeah. I remember it was June 13th, 2023, though.
Yeah, dude, and it was an absolute blast. The Oracle was the place, and downtown Canton came alive as you guys performed for us. And once again, Shinedown bringing their show to Northeast Ohio. This time they're coming to Cleveland, the Rocket Arena, August 19th. And as somebody who's seen you guys perform in the most intimate venues and those large stages, dude, it's special every single time. So paint that picture about how you guys approach it night after night after night.
I mean, I think you look at it like a full contact sport in a way, but you also look at it like it's like a meeting with your friends. Like you want it's like a party, right? Everyone that you know who shows up to a party, you want them to leave feeling good, right? So that's kind of how we look at it. It's like we want people to kind of leave the room better than they came in, and that I think if you can achieve that, you've done what you need to do as a performer and an entertainer. I always tell people we have the greatest job because, an actor makes a movie, but they don't get to be in every theater.
Right.
And I get to watch these people react live to a song that they really love, or maybe they lost a loved one, like that stuff means a lot, so getting to see that it's a big honor.
And dude, what Shinedown means to people truly is special. I saw it very close and personal when you guys were in Canton. But dude, the connection you guys make through the music, and whether we're talking about the older stuff like 45, whether we're talking about your newer song 365, which is incredible, still playing it on Mix 94.1, these songs resonate with people. And why do you think the music that you guys create really does make that connection?
I think we try to write songs that connect to people. I don't think we ever go in and go, let's write a song for this format.
Right.
Let's write a hit song. To me, if you go in and you write a good song that you connect with, there's pretty good chances other people are going through the same thing or going through something similar that makes them feel the same way about what you're saying. So, to me, it's just about going in and trying to write a song that you can connect with. I don't think we've ever put out a song that we just had no, feel on or no connection to. We've never gone in and go, we're going to write this song today.
And I think your fans feel that, and I think it's very evident. Some of the stuff we talked about, 20 years old at this point, and people still, that's the song of their heart. That's the song that they're singing back to you, and it's got to be a special experience every single time you do it. And if you're a Shinedown fan, you guys have hits on hits on hits. I mean, such a strong run of big hits in the world of rock radio. You guys are going to be playing them all when you perform in Cleveland at the Rocket Arena. That's August 19th. We've got Zach from Shinedown in studio with us. And Zach, I brought up 365 earlier. It's a song I genuinely love because so many times it'll be playing in the radio station and I'm kind of like, singing along in my head. And then you just kind of start breaking down the lyrics and really thinking about how they apply to your life and what can change in a year and kind of how life comes at you fast. It's really something that's been special. So speak about that song and why it means what it means to you guys.
I mean, it's weird because I've had people go, to me, this song means this and this song means this, which is weird because I don't really like explaining to people what songs are about, like fans and stuff, because I want them to take away their own. I mean, for us, it was about our bass player lost a lot of people within a year span. Lost his dad, lost his aunt, his wife lost her sister. So I think it was just kind of about that and sitting in it, and going, you can sit in it and you can dwell in it, or you can make something positive out of it and do something about it. But it's like, to me, losing people like that and you do it that much, that's something that is so connecting in this world to everyone. You talk about a subject matter that everyone can relate to. So I think that when you write a song like that, watching people react is is a cool thing to see. You know, like in the show right now, I don't even look back because there's pictures of like me and my grandmother on the screen, and our bass player and his dad, and like my drummer and his aunt, my singer and his grandmother. Like, you know, we kind of did that as a, you know, reminder of like, these are the people that we lost, you know, and it's rough. I try not to look back. Some nights I do, and I start, you know, I'm crying in front of 15,000 people, you know, like hard.
No. And dude, I love that, because I'll be real with you, man. I think most people look at rock stars, and I know you're going to say, oh, I'm not a rock star, but most people look at rock stars, celebrities, you know, athletes, and they don't know that they're human. Yeah. But you guys go through those same things, and that's been such a core identity of Shinedown. That matters.
I'm a rock star 2 hours a night. I'm a dad the other 22 hours. Yeah, you know, it's like I was saying this earlier to someone, like, you know, people, our fans don't lose our humanity in a bad way, in the sense of like, when I'm out, they don't treat me like an animal. They're like, right. Dude, take a picture, it's your job. Like, what I mean is, like, they come up to you and they go, I really don't think you understand what your song did for me. And I'm like, no, I do. Because it did it to me. Like, me writing it did the same thing.
Love it, man.
Like, it helped. Like, that was my therapy, was writing it. So you listening to it and gaining something from it, I do understand where you're coming from. Like, they're like, you really don't get it. I'm like, I get it. Like,
dude, that has to be special.
It's amazing, man, knowing that, like, you know, we've written some heavy songs. So to have, like, you know, someone say, I had a gun in my mouth and I heard your song, and it's like, dude, that's tough.
Yeah.
And I don't walk like,
yeah.
And that's honestly, man, like, people are fans, and not in a bad way, because they understand now, but like, I get blamed a lot for the reasons we don't do meet and greets anymore. And like, people's great, beautiful stories are kind of the reason, because like, dude, my heart's too big, man. I can't listen to someone tell me that their, you know, son died and they played this was his favorite song, and then you go to the next guy in the meet and greet and he's just happy to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to press reset. You got all of a sudden, now you got to go on stage and rock it.
Towards the end of it, I think John, our security guy, told me I think I'd walked out of 8 meet and greets. Walked left, didn't take pictures with people. And it wasn't because I was like, dude, it was because I'm literally crying, and I don't want to cry in front of people, like fans, but like, you know, if someone tells me, you know, at that time my oldest would have been 6, and I remember a person saying to me, I believe it was in Pennsylvania, they're like, you know, our 6-year-old son had cancer and he died, and I'm like, texting my wife, like, behind their backs, like, go take our kid to the hospital. They're like, he's fine. He's in the pool right now. I'm like, just get him checked out. You know, like, I don't wear things like that. I wish, you know, part of me wishes I could be the guy that was like, just heard that story and was like, oh, I'm sorry about your loss, and
sure,
move on.
Sure.
But then that doesn't make me who I am. You know what I mean? Like, it makes me who I am to go behind a curtain and cry about that for 10 minutes, you know?
And that's what bolsters that connection between you and the audience, man. The fact that you're willing to be vulnerable, the fact that you're willing to reach them on a human level, that matters. It genuinely does. And I think people can smell fake from a mile away.
Absolutely.
And when it comes down to it, when you guys are willing to be yourselves, when you're willing to put yourselves out there like that, not only in your performances, your meet and greets, your music, all that stuff, but just who you guys are, that kind of stuff matters. We're talking with Zach Myers from Shinedown, and you mentioned therapy in there, and Zach, is something that has been a key element of Shinedown since day one, from the first time that I've heard you guys, which 20 plus years ago at this point, is that idea of mental health. Now, in 20 years, that landscape has changed in idea of like the accessibility and the stigmas. So, you know, year after year after year, decade after decade, why is that so important to you guys?
I think, you know, for some people it was more okay to talk about it. It wasn't as taboo to talk about it. It's like,
right.
Like, that was like maybe like one of the only departments in the world where like men were almost a little oppressed. You know what I mean? Where it was like the first time ever where it was the men who were actually like, because for 20 years it was like, as a man, not 20 years, but in the last 20 years it's changed, but you know, for hundreds of years you push that shit down and die of a heart attack when you're 40, you know, and you don't talk about your feelings. But it's like, man, you know, for like now it's okay to realize as a man you can talk to people about it, and you can, you know, and I think that's cool. You know, I think that's like, it's become more accepted. You know, I'm in therapy. I'll gladly tell people that I'm in therapy. And, you know, that stuff helps me, man. Like, it helps me move through the day, knowing that it's okay to be like, you know what, man, I was depressed today. Like, for instance, like, I don't do well with my kids getting older.
Right.
Like,
it's tough, dude. My daughter just celebrated her 5th birthday. Yeah, it has been tough,
it's
man.
Rough, man. I have 3 boys, 9, 7, and almost 2. My 9-year-old's body has completely changed in the last year. Like, he was like this little bird-chested little kid.
Sure.
And now he's got like a chest on him and leg hair. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't like, you know, like, again, it's like the thing with the meet and greets, right? Like, I was gone for like 2 weeks one time. I walked in Target with him and he grabbed my hand and like his hand felt different than the 2 weeks before. And dude, I go in the bathroom and I cried for like 15 minutes. He's like, you okay? I'm like, I'm just pooping. You know, so yeah, you know, the mental health thing, man, is like, it can mean anything. You can lose somebody and have a tough time about it. You can, you know, not like your job. You can, you know, go through a divorce. You can, your kids are getting older.
Sure.
You know, and it's like, now that we live in a landscape where it's okay to say, hey, man, I'm not okay right now. Like, that's important. And I think that when you write songs about that, maybe it even helps people more realize, like, it's all right. About.
I think you guys as artists, not just you as Shinedown, I'm saying artists in general, are such a big part of how that gap has been bridged. You're right, because 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, the idea of a man talking about his feelings, talking about his struggles, talking about the things that, you know, he has anxiety over, it feels like it's a shortcoming.
Names.
Right. You 100% were called names. But the fact that, you know, people in spots like yours were willing to share and to be vulnerable and to be a part of that, it truly is, at least in my opinion, why that stigma has started to change and why the conversation is turning. And fingers crossed, why we're starting to see better results for not just men, but for everybody in this battle.
Everyone. I think now, you know, that now that people feel like they could talk about it, it's a big help, you know. And I think that, again, everyone in the world now knows. And listen, if we played a small part in that, that's great. If I wrote a song like Daylight or something, and it made people feel like it's okay to talk about their feelings to someone so they don't do something permanent,
right?
That's all I need. If it literally helped one person.
We got Zach Myers from Shinedown in studio. They're going to be in Cleveland August 19th. You could be there as well. Send me a text right now. 330-450-9400 is the number. Include the keyword Shinedown, and I want to get you hooked up with some tickets. 365 is the song, dude. The tour is going to be absolutely awesome. And, dude, I'm telling you right now, when you go see Shinedown, like I said, they got a ton of hits, so you're going to know every song. And number 2, dude, they absolutely rock. You guys bring it so hard every time up on that stage. I can't wait for it, man. It's stellar every single time. And Zach Myers from Shinedown, brother, thank you so much for coming in and sharing today.
I appreciate it.